Hey guys, it's EDDBUD, and I'm back with another initial shoe review for you. Today we're looking at the Adidas SL20. This summer ready, super light release really pops in this blue colourway, doesn't it? Glow blue, core white and solar red. Like a pebble beach with the red sunset and the blue ocean. Adidas says that the engineered mesh here is like opening a window to a cool breeze. I really like that Adidas are starting to use some cool analogies to describe the breathability of their shoes. Top notch. Before we get into the main review, if it's your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking the bell for notifications of when my new videos launch. And it really helps the channel out if you give it a thumbs up like. Beast would be most appreciative. Really, Beast? She says yes. I got out there for a couple of runs this time in the SL20 to test it out. Here we go. Just like that, I'm back in the studio. Super breathable upper here in the SL20. This is the summer ready version, so I'm not entirely sure what the differences are, whether it just means that the uppers are a little more breathable. I was expecting to open the box and it to start playing a medley of Beach Boys songs, but I was sadly denied. I found some superb lockdown with the SL20. The upper really is great. Good widths to the laces in this shoe, and an appropriate number of lace holes as well. You just feel you can get a great lockdown across the whole of your foot. No heel slippage to report. Perfectly sized upper for me. I went for a UK size 11.5, and that was ample. Not too much room in the toe box, just enough. When you get served a pudding and you don't sort of look and think, my gosh, how am I going to eat all of this pudding? It's just the right amount and you feel satisfied. I was a little hesitant in sizing here. I'd heard all sorts of weird stories about people like sizing up a whole size. What? But an 11.5 for me is like a glove. The patent EDDBUD torpedo feet say yes. Feel in the heel is certainly David Beckham free kick perfect. And tongue length is Ozil long pass standard. Man, I really miss football. Talking football, I'm sure that the shoe last that they've used within the SL20 is like many soccer shoes that I've worn across all my years of playing football, but of course with a much lighter upper. Laces are good in length, and it's been quite warm here. I found the shoe to be really breathable, really pleasant on foot. Everything here is great in terms of the upper. I can't really fault it. Perhaps they could have reduced or got rid of these parts that they needed. I'm not sure. The heel, perhaps, is it necessary for it to be so considerable? I don't know. But I find it hard to fault the shoe here in terms of upper. Because there's a couple of things here I feel they could have perhaps dispensed with. I'm only going to remove 0.1. So for my initial review, I'll give this a 2.9 out of 3 for upper. It's midsole next. The light strike in the midsole of the SL20 hit me like a bolt of lightning. I was informed by Mrs. EDDBUD that dinner was only going to be 30 minutes away. So only really had time to knock out 3 miles in that time, for my initial run anyway. On setting out for a slower pace, you know, sort of a pace like taking the scenery, the squirrels, that kind of pace, I was just far too excited in these rockets to do that. So by the end of the first mile, I got up to my half marathon target pace of 6 minutes 50 per mile, and I carried on with the 3 miles at that same pace. Completed in 21 minutes 21 seconds. So not bad for a 41-year-old bloke who'd been stood up all day marking student work on his laptop. I even had put the bins out at one point as well. That's how tired I was. So it was nice to test these out at a higher pace on my initial blast. I certainly provided some humour to some of the passers-by as I was hightailing it along my normal route. It really did feel great picking up the cadence in the SL20s. For me, it feels a little bit more forgiving in the midsole than the Takumi Sen 6. That's an incredibly light shoe. The Takumi Sen was about 215, I think, or maybe 220. But I actually felt that this shoe enabled me to run even faster at a sustained pace without any boost in the midsole whatsoever. It's just light strike here. For me, could be a brilliant 10k shoe or even a half marathon shoe, I think. Really does feel nice underfoot. There's a bit of bite to it, but still some really nice cushion. You don't expect it either. When you first pick the shoe up, you think, oh, that's going to be quite firm. But it's just really lovely once you start putting some pressure onto it. Second run today was a much easier pace, 8 minutes 6 seconds per mile across 7 miles. So that's about 5 minutes per kilometre over 11.27 kilometres. Shoes felt really good again at a slower pace. No issues to report in terms of the midsole there. It was quite nice going up some hills actually with a slightly lower stack height. There is a 10mm drop in this shoe. It just felt really nice going up this quite considerable hill on part of my route today. Maybe some heavier runners might find the lack of cushion here a bit of a problem, though I found this shoe really stable. I'm quite a slight gentleman, and I found it quite explosive actually when you do want to run at those faster paces. I really love the drop and the quite forgiving light strike material in the midsole here. So I'm only going to knock off 0.2 for the fact that some people might find this shoe to be lacking a little bit in cushion. I'm going to give this one a 2.8 out of 3 for midsole. We've got some world famous Clark Griswold road burning continental rubber on the outsole of the SL20. I've got to say that the rubber here is stickier than when you let a child open up a jam jar and try to spread that jam all over a piece of toast. You know that that jam jar is going to be completely covered in its contents. I found that the outsole offered really great grip on all sorts of different surfaces today. Dirt paths, no problem. Tarmac, oh yeah. Even grass, actually, it was fine on that. I had to take some evasive action to get around hordes of people who had decided to go out at 8 o'clock in the morning. Even some light gravel was quite expertly interpreted, though I don't think that I'd want to run on that for any lengths of time in the SL20. That rubber is relatively thin. I could feel a couple of those rocks kind of starting to come through and interrogate my foot. Really great grip, very similar to the Adidas 4 that I tried a while back, so really enjoyed that today. The torsion plate here does give a little pop as you go through your gait cycle, and I've got to be honest, I've just felt sure-footed in the first 10 miles in the shoe. Also felt nimble as well. It doesn't feel too clog-like the Pegasus 37. Nimble like Jack the Treacle Eater of local marathon fame. I don't see any major issues with the outsole here. We know that that Continental rubber is pretty durable. It's perhaps a little thin in the forefoot, so I'm going to drop off a couple of points for that. I'm going to give a 2.8 out of 3 for the outsole on my initial review. We're talking value. I picked this shoe up for 73 quid, or 73 pounds. I think it retails normally around about £100, but I see it all the time for around about 80. I find that superb value for what you get. Very versatile, breathable shoe. Handled some different paces across the last couple of runs, no problem. It's got some really nice cushioning there, but at a really low weight. I think lighter runners will really enjoy that nice breathable upper. There's a lower stack height, which I'm kind of enjoying. I think you could train in this shoe, no problem. Long runs, oh yeah. And it will handle shorter, faster efforts without a problem. Could you run tempo runs in this? Yeah, of course. I think I'd probably even race in this shoe. It's that good. On a variety of different surfaces, it felt sure and it felt stable. Maybe avoid some more technical trails. I don't think it's really designed as a trail shoe. But hey, we're nitpicking now. As a versatile option for those who are on a budget right now, and that is many people, this is one of the cheaper and higher performing shoes I've reviewed of recent time. And you know I've reviewed a lot of shoes recently. As you know, I buy all of these shoes with my own cash, and I've got no reason not to be honest with you. It's certainly more stable underfoot than the Nova Blast, snappier than the Pegasus 37, a lower profile on the heel than the Beacon 3, though it's not quite as cheap as the Reebok Energy 2. But for value, for me, at retail even, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3. It's a stonking shoe. So an almost perfect score for this fantastic shoe. Makes it 11.5 out of 12. Really excited to continue putting some miles into this one. Of course, I'll take all the shoes up to 100 miles and then give you my final reviews. If you've tried this shoe out, please let me know in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you undecided? I'll be keen to see your comments. A quick musical interlude. I dug out this fantastic album from Bert Jansch from over 20 years ago. This one was released in 2000 and it also features some fantastic supporting artists. Bernard Butler, Johnny Marr and Makoto Sakamoto on the drums are also on this album. Some brilliant new tunes from Bert Jansch. Sadly, he's passed away now, but if you've never heard his material, if you've never heard his guitar playing, you're missing out. He used to be able to make the guitar sound like there were about 3 guitars playing at once. He had an incredible finger style. Caledonian and Crimson Moon are my favourites from this record. Please do go and check it out. Bert Jansch, Crimson Moon. That's about all for me for today, guys. Thanks for watching through to the very end of today's video. If you've enjoyed yourself, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications of when my new videos launch. It really helps the channel out if you give the video a thumbs up like, and also if you share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you